Okay, the session is being recorded. It looks like we have about 75 people so far. We'll probably have some more people trickle in. I expect to have about 150 to 200 people on this call. Now, first thing we're going to start with is I'm going to show you guys how to play with a little feature that I had a teacher show me about 3 weeks ago, and it's called Whiteboard. Has anybody drawn on their whiteboard yet?
I have.
All right, so this will be fun. I'm assuming that most of you haven't, so I'll explain it in detail how this works, and then I'll just let you guys play around with some of the different features. So let's see, I think I have, I'm just gonna, I guess I'll just explain it verbally. So what I'm gonna do is start sharing my whiteboard. And on my whiteboard, you should be able to see just a big screen here. And I can draw with a little pencil. I can write on it. I can do stamps. I can draw lines.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm drawing.
Yeah.
What's my little squiggly line? Probably, oh, somebody put the triple clef on there for me. Thanks a lot. And I can even do, or are my, oh, those are stamps. I think I have a shapes one somewhere. Oh, it's under draw. There's some shapes. You can draw different notes.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to clear the board. And I am going to, there is a disable participants from annotating. So I can stop you guys from drawing on it. But what I want you to do is everybody start doodling. But the first thing I want you to do is go to the text tool, and just type your name on the board.
Where's text tool?
Let's see how fast you can get it up there. Josh is quick.
Text tool. Remember the text tool.
If you're having trouble finding the annotations thing, at the very top of your screen, you'll see a little button for Zoom. If you just hover over it, a menu will pop up, and on the right side, there's 3 little dots that says More, or there's a whiteboard. You can click on, actually no, so the More, and you look for annotations. Go ahead and look for that annotations, and then start typing your name.
Stop. Oh.
Or we can draw them. Look at that handwriting. It's amazing. Okay.
Where is the text function? I can't find it.
I can't either.
I can't either.
It should be on the panel, but you have to open up the panel first.
I have a pen, but I can't draw anything. I've tried various things.
Are you on a phone or are you on a computer?
I'm on an iPad.
Same
I
here.
don't know if it works on an iPad. If somebody can get it to work on an iPad, let me know.
Well, it gives me a tool, but it won't let me do anything. And it even says pen, highlighter, line, arrow, all those things, but I can't draw anything, or I've tried several things.
I can't even find the text.
I can't find anything.
Oh, now I can put dots all over it. Those are my dots, but.
Well, go ahead, put dots.
Well, so I'm on an iPad too. So is it better to use a computer then?
I prefer a computer because there are more options.
I can just write on it. That's it.
So where is the text tool on the computer then?
So if you go to the very top, you should have a menu that comes up, and there are different things you can do. One of them is your annotations.
It's under View Options, and about the 5th one down is Annotate.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
Is that it?
text.
Request.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Oh. My annotations doesn't come up. It's grayed
And
out.
then
Here
under
it says,
annotate,
mine says only the host can share in this meeting.
So you're trying to share your whiteboard, and I've disabled that for now. So it's in a different location.
Yeah, I'm on an iPad too, and I'm finding
Yeah, and
nothing.
I'm not exactly sure where that
It's
menu
down
is.
in the left corner. Down in the left corner, there was a little pencil, but all you can do
Oh,
is draw on
I
the
see it.
screen.
I see it now. Yeah.
You can just draw on the screen. You can't type or anything.
Okay.
Oh, I could type. I just hit text.
Okay, I get it. It is on the left corner.
I start typing, but then it stops.
Oh, wow, I see a text.
Okay.
Oh, there's a text. Did you see the text is a T and you pushed it? I am on my iPad and my name is Julie. It's on the right hand side corner. If you touch the text right in the middle, okay, then they will give you, shows up the keypad. Did you see it?
Yeah, that worked.
Okay, so
Yeah, here
I'm
you
gonna
go.
clear all the drawings, and we're going to start with treble clef, and I want everybody to draw their favorite note. Will somebody draw me a nice treble clef over there? I know I don't have the G line yet, but there we go. Wow, we got two people. So somebody's trying to draw a treble clef with straight lines. That won't work. All right, now everybody put a stamp. Go grab your favorite stamp and put it on your favorite note. Oh, I see somebody's favorite note is in need of some ledger lines. There you go.
Where are the stamps?
Yeah, where are the stamps?
So there should be a stamps button.
No, not on iPad.
Not on
Oh, yeah, on iPad.
Okay, then you just have to draw one with a circle if you can.
The notes are in draw.
Yeah, if you go to draw, there are some shapes you can grab.
Option thing.
So if you haven't done students, it might be just a fun thing to do, just to show them how to. Somebody's got an airplane outside.
See?
No,
And
Oh yeah, you could get those backgrounds.
all right, very good. So I hope you guys learned just fun little trick to do with your whiteboard. So that's under, when you start your meetings, you'd go under the share button and share your whiteboard instead of sharing your screen. So I'm going to start next with, I guess, just a quick introduction. Thanks everybody for joining this workshop. The reason we put this together was because we're facing right now a very different scenario than we've ever had to face before as piano teachers. It can be a dangerous time because students could say, I don't want to do lessons now. My online lessons aren't nearly as much fun as the in-person lessons, so I'm just going to quit until this virus is over. And I've found that what we do as teachers is we try to we're really good at teaching in person. And we think of online as a way of teaching the same way that we teach in person, but it's not idiomatic for that. So what happens is it usually ends up being really clunky and not a very good experience for either the teacher or for the student. And so we kind of need to go back and look at what it is that we are offering as teachers. What is it you're selling? And you can't just say piano lessons, because piano lessons means something very different to everybody. So what is it you provide to people that would be appealing to them? And do it in an online environment, something that is really fun and engaging. So today we're going to split up into different groups and just meet one-on-one, talk about some of these differences that you're noticing, some of the things that are challenging to you. I'm only going to give you just a very few minutes to meet with somebody, so don't get too deep into a conversation yet. We're going to do something called Breakout Rooms. I'm going to put you with a partner. First thing I want you to do is just find out their name, where they're from, where they're teaching, and then you'll probably get into a question and you'll see that you have 15 seconds left and I'm ending your call. And then we'll come back together. All right, so I click on Breakout Rooms. You can't see my screen, I'm assuming, but it says we have 91 participants and I can assign them into this number of rooms. So I'm going to put you into 45 rooms. And when you see the invitation to go to your room, go meet your partner, turn on your video and say hello. I'll see you guys in a bit. So Esther, I notice you're still in this one, and Roberta. Oh, there goes Esther. Roberta, you are left. Deborah.
Dorothy. Can you hear me, Dorothy?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay. I can't see you, but I think you're on a phone.
Yes.
I'm Deborah, and you're Dorothy.
Yes.
What kind of students do you teach?
Early elementary all the way through adult.
Okay, same thing with me. How have you found teaching online?
It's been working, but I found I have to change what I do. Instead of like pointing to something, I will say, can you find measure 3 and point to it? And I watch it. I say, what note is on count number 4? And I have them look at it and answer the question.
I think that they learn more by doing that.
I do too.
Yes, I think that when we point it out, that sometimes they don't get as engaged, but when they have to find it, you find out if they know where it is.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of like that part.
I do too. I like that part of it. And the more I can do that, I think the more engaged they are.
Yes, and I think I teach several 7-year-olds, and they really have to pay attention. And then if they don't pay attention, I have a bell.
Okay, was that an abrupt ending to your meeting?
Yes, it definitely was.
Yes.
So I have the ability, when I'm in Zoom and I'm the host, I can say on the breakout rooms, end it in 15 seconds, 30 seconds, or whatever I choose. I actually chose on this session to end it in 15 seconds. I know it's abrupt, but it's because we have a lot to cover, and I'm basically just showing you some of these things that you can do in Zoom. Breakout rooms is
Can I ask a question real quick? What program are you on in Zoom?
It's called Breakout Rooms, and what you do to find breakout rooms is you Google, how do I find breakout rooms? And there's a million answers. So Google is your very, very best friend. But anyway, if you want to write that down, it's called Breakout Rooms.
But are you on the pro program, or what level are you on Zoom?
You can do it on the free program. I am on the pro.
Okay.
Yeah, great
Thank
question.
you.
All right, so another thing that you can do in Zoom is polls. Now, polls can be useful in your piano lessons for a variety of reasons. I'm going to just share with you a quick poll and have everybody take this poll, and then we're going to look at the answers. So I am going to launch poll number 1 and have everybody go ahead and go through this poll and answer the questions.
Oh.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
The only one that cannot take this poll is me, because I am the host. I can see that 3 people have finished, 4, now 5, now 6.
Do we just choose one?
You can only choose one, because that is how I set this poll up. Now you can see polls where they can do multiple answers.
It's like I cannot submit.
Go down to the bottom. There are more questions you have to answer. There should be 4 questions, and then you could say submit.
Oh, I did close instead.
So I see 44% of you have finished the poll.
I'm clicking on submit, but nothing happens.
Yeah, and I clicked close too.
I don't even see close.
Mine won't submit.
So has anybody figured out why the problem is that people can't submit?
You mean it's my problem?
Usually you haven't answered all the questions.
That's the biggest reason. So if you scroll down and you see that you haven't answered question 2, make sure to answer that one, or question 3 and question 4.
Can you get it back up again? Can you send it back to us again?
That's a question I don't know.
You can do it again. You can just do it again. I did.
Back up.
Has anybody closed it and was successful in reopening it?
Yes, I was.
How did you open it?
I just hit it again.
So you saw it down there. I can see that 84% of people are finished now. And 85. Let's get up to 90% votes, and then I'm going to close the poll. We're at 86%. So 4 more people. Now 3 more people.
Yeah, I'm going to be the last one, but I can't get it to move.
I'll probably close it before you get it submitted, but that's okay.
That's fine. That's okay.
And okay, the poll is ending. So now I'm going to, I can relaunch the poll and let you do it again, or I can share the results. But I think what I'll do is just share the results, and let's just take a look at what people answered. So 27% of you said, what is the most effective way to teach an online lesson? The next biggest one was 17%. How do I teach effective online group piano lessons? That's a very interesting one. Then the next one was, how do I keep students motivated? That one could be a good question for whether they're in person or online, but online is what we're going to be addressing this conference. It looks like the majority of your concerns right now is, what is the most effective way to teach an online lesson? Question number 2, have you ever lost a student to another teacher and felt sad? 60% of you said Yes. Have you ever lost a student to another teacher and felt glad? Yes.
Oh, yes.
Why can't a nose be 12 inches long? Because it would be a foot. This can't be a serious question. All right. I'm going to close that poll, and I'm going to have you guys break into groups again and discuss why you answered the way you did. So
Be sure to tell people to unmute because my person was muted and I could not talk with them.
oh yeah, everybody, make sure when you when you get into your breakout rooms, you want to share your video and unmute yourself. So recreating the rooms, here we go. See y'all later. Esther, did you find out how to do it?
Yes, yes. Need to go to the bathroom. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I will put your partner in a different group then.
Hello?
Hello, you asked me to join your meeting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because my partner is not there. Sorry. So I don't know what to do. Berta Hardy? I mean, yeah.
Roberta, can you hear us? So what I can do is send you into a different group.
Okay, so it's okay. That's fine. Thank you.
All right, let me see if I can figure out how to do that quickly. You're muted, Deborah.
Okay. Am I still muted?
Nope, I can hear you now. Looks like your partner didn't arrive.
I'm sorry?
Your partner didn't arrive.
That's right.
Let me,
but I found whiteboard.
let me go put, let me see if I can put you into a different group. Oh, there we go. I'm gonna put that person there. I'm going to oh, that's convenient. Two people that didn't join any group are actually partners.
That's good.
That was coincidence. I can't find what group you're in. Oh, I think I found you. So we're missing your partner.
Mary never showed, well, she showed up.
And she left.
No, well, what happened was she showed up as a name, and then there was no sound or no video. So I texted her in the little box, and I said, Mary, you know, privately, but I suspect Mary doesn't know how to use Zoom.
Either that or you scared her away.
Oh, I didn't know it was that scary. Could she see me if I couldn't see her?
Yeah, she could. I'm going to send you to another room.
I chose how to have more fun with students, connecting with students online. I think that I've got the social media platforms down. I figured out how to teach online, how to not expect to be able to handle as much information as we usually do in person. I figured out some things about, I had to show my students how to count measures because the youngest kids didn't understand, if there was a measure 9 and a measure 12, but why in their music wasn't there a measure 11? So I got through those basics. We've been online lessons since March, but I'm worried about in the fall with burnout, how kids are going to have to be online so much for school still and everything else that I want to really have them continue to look forward to their piano lessons online. So that's what I'm most interested in.
Oh, where's Julie? We lost Julie.
Ah.
She disappeared.
She disappeared. And looks like one person is still trying to connect to audio. Mary Tunnel is still.
It depends on, your internet speed. Sometimes it slow down, really. I having problem with my students too. When I teach, depends on, the internet speed. Sometimes, I get a freeze and I get disconnected. Don't you have those problems, with the Zoom even?
Right, that's right. Thank you for reminding me, right. There were always those times where you would have the best plan and I knew we wanted to work on in lessons and then of course something would cut out and we would.
You want to unmute yourself because we cannot hear you.
I am unmuted.
No, for other people.
Oh, other people. Other people. Everyone else has to unmute.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. You had a little bit longer to discuss on that session. Hopefully, you got some good ideas or questions put out to your partner. The next thing we're going to do is a poll for. This one is called Acquiring and Keeping Students. I'm going to launch the poll. Let's have you look at some of these questions here.
I have no idea.
Okay, I've answered, but once again, nothing happens when I click submit.
You might want to brainstorm that with somebody when you do a Zoom lesson. Give it a try and see if you can figure that out. We have 25% of the people have answered.
They're hard choices.
Yes.
Aaron, did you create the questions?
I did create the questions.
You forgot a key ingredient answer on number 2, dude.
Which one?
Why do kids' parents want them to learn piano? And the answer is because it makes them smarter.
Okay.
There you go.
That's actually one of the big key factors that people do lessons.
I always tell parents that. I haven't had any of them tell me that, but I tell parents that. And then I think, why am I not smarter?
I do talks all over town. I do talks all over town about the benefits of music, and we do fundraisers, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
A lot of them want their kids to get into college. They want to be able to say they took X number of years of lessons to put on their college apps.
Absolutely. I had an interesting experience. I went to my daughter's middle school award ceremony, and they were awarding the students that have straight A's. And 14 of the students in the school stood up and got their straight A's. Over 50% of them were my students.
Wow.
Every one of my piano students had straight A's.
So, piano makes you smarter.
It must be something about you.
I thought either piano makes you smarter or It's possible that only the smart kids can get through piano.
Agreed.
Well, I know that I've known that several valedictorians who had taken music lessons.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to end the poll, and then we're going to take a look at the answers. So here's what people said. Question number 1. What are the main reasons people want to take piano lessons? Mom and Dad want me to learn to play the piano. Now, that doesn't mean that's correct, but that's just what 58% of you feel like that's the main reason, which is a cultural reason. I guess my friends play the piano. I don't want to be left out. That's also a cultural reason. I have an uncontrollable urge to take piano lessons. Okay, somebody tell me, was that a serious response?
Probably not.
Well, you know what? I have heard of some students who have the parents tell me they just keep going over and playing, and they want to play and they want to play and they want to learn.
I was one of those kids too, and I do have students like that. They
Interesting.
Just love music.
I don't have any student that doesn't love piano. I just don't do it anymore.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Question number 2. Why do kids' parents want them to learn the piano? 79% says it's the culture. Parents feel an obligation to see their children develop skills that society deems important. And that could also be because it also makes you smart. I think that would fit into that one. Parents needed another activity to keep their kids busy. 20% of you said you feel like parents are actually looking for things. Well, you know, people's lives are super busy nowadays, but with this online social distancing, I think it's actually become something more that parents actually have time for. And they want to keep their kids busy, and they're doing online school, which doesn't take their whole day. So they actually do have a little more time. So that's an interesting change that I think I would have answered differently, 6 months ago. Number 3, how can we help develop a culture that promotes piano learning? Network with other teachers and put on piano events that are engaging to students. I think that is really big. Competitions, that could also be helpful. You've all put in students with competitions and have different results. You can host student videos. That is actually one of the up and coming things that are one of the reasons people take lessons, is because their friends are doing really cool videos and they want to also do a cool video. In order to do that, you need to learn how to play a piece that you can put on the video. Hosting recitals in the past has been one of the biggest ways that I have had got more students, and that is because they bring family members and younger siblings to see these recitals, and they want to be a part of that, or their friends want to be a part of that, and so you can pick up students that way. Let me stop sharing the results on that. I'm going to send you into some breakout rooms to discuss the next question, which is, what kinds of things can you do to pick up some more students or retain students in your studios? And we'll just this is going to be actually a larger group meeting. So you're going to have to find somebody to kind of take and lead the discussion. And then when you come back to the main discussion, we want to have that leader go ahead and just mention some of the top things that you guys discussed that was very effective. So on to breakout rooms. You will be picking, I'm going to do you in groups of 8, and we're recreating the rooms. So go to your room, have somebody kind of just naturally take charge or do it together, and then come up with something that you can share with the main group after you're done discussing this within your group.
What's the question again?
What things can you do to create retention in your studio, make it fun for your students, and also get new students?
Why don't we just kind of start with Rebecca? Rebecca, first of all, maybe give us your name, maybe your the city where you teach, and then.
Yeah, my name is Becky. I teach in Los Altos, California.
And then what do you do to retain your students? How do you think you can best retain or get new students?
You know, it's not a problem. I go strictly by referral, and I've got about 40 students right now.
Wow.
That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, it's a full-time job.
Absolutely.
But I love it. It's great.
Yep. Don, go ahead.
Oh, did you say Don?
Yep, Don Harper.
Yeah. I live up the street from Becky. I'm in Burlingame. And I don't have any problem with getting students. I have maintained my level. Nobody quit when I went online, so that was good.
Good. Do you guys, so yeah, Becky and Don, do either of you guys actively try to get new students or just
or new material, or even because I am a member of the OMTA in Oregon, or MTNA for most of you, that make sure that we would keep doing the levels if they had started or go to the next level. So make sure that right away we had, like I said, a goal going to the next level, or new materials, something fresh, something new that they had, that they feel that's kind of a new beginning. That's one of the things I did. Number two, I did mention that we would still have a recital even if we did not have a live recital. So I organized these by smaller groups, but at least it's kind of the same idea. If we have a goal, if we have a recital, then we we have something to work towards, even if it was shorter time, like not a 6-month goal or a year goal. If it's a 2-month goal or 3-month goal, kind of create that.
Strangely enough, I was very skeptical about this, but I actually did a Google ad. I live in a rural mountain community.
Yes.
And I have actually gotten some responses to the Google ad. So I was very surprised by that.
How do you do that?
Basically, you just contact Google and just Google ads.
Okay, I'll take it from there.
Yeah.
So what about retaining students? How have you guys been most successful at retaining your students? I'm still kind of new. I've only taught officially a full studio for like 3 years, so.
How long?
Having a
3 years. I just graduated college recently. So.
Okay. They belong to and their school. Have them give your card to them, because parents really talk a lot, word of mouth.
Right.
So I would use the parents to kind of spread the word around, and with your business cards.
I've gotten many students because of this. 2 parents that have told other people in the neighborhood about me. They like me, and they tell other parents. That is the best way, I think.
Yeah.
Can you say your name? I mean, the person who was talking. My name is Joy.
Joy, what state are you in?
I am in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Oh, okay.
Okay, so you say you have experience teaching young students online and then new students online. Is that what you said? Joy?
Yeah,
That's me. Oh, you too. Okay.
I think Dorothea and Joy.
Yeah.
Dorothy and Joy. Okay, because I do have new students want to come in, and then I told them to wait. And then for my beginners, I have 10 beginners. I told them to just rest because you know, I don't know how to teach beginners online. It became very challenging for me. They cannot see me. I cannot touch their.
What I do is I drop off the books that I want to teach out of, and so I have a copy of the same book, so I know when we turn to page 6, I'm on page 6, they are on page 6, and I would encourage you to try it. And every kid is different, but there are some kids that are just so eager to learn that it might work just amazingly.
Yeah, and again, I really making part of the package that the parent agrees to sit with them for the first month.
And then we start every lesson with the coronavirus Etude, which is really cleaning off the keys. If anyone, I can post it in a chat. It's really fun. So anyway, so I don't want to keep talking. So Tracy.
Hi. Well, I was teaching group and private in a studio at Hill Air Force Base in Utah. However, with this, of course, that stopped, and I brought students online. And we're in a hot spot here. I'm kind of out in the suburbs, but it's pretty bad here in Utah. So anyway, you know, there's some groups that do dance and, you know, are doing some things, but I'm kind of uncomfortable with it all right now. And I was able to get them on board, but it's really interesting because I'm doing Zoom, and I'm trying to think of some games. I had talked to someone on this just a little while ago about maybe incorporating games, because I like to use learning games or things to keep them interested. Also, technology. I thought I was going to be able to pass through technology in my life and not ever have to do it. But now I'm learning Zoom, and I'm still terrible at it. I've dropped my iPad before. And
so we'll definitely get to that later.
Great. I'm excited.
But for the younger beginner, is it hard? Like 4, 5, 6 years old? Is it harder to teach online?
I don't think so. The one thing is, what's it called? Like attention span. They have like no attention span. So I just keep it short. Like we have a half-hour lesson, but generally a lot of that is spent. I literally will be like, all right, you're getting bored, you're getting tired, let's go do some jumping jacks. So I make them get up, do some jumping jacks, or go get like a Cheerio or something, run back and forth, so that they are doing something else, just because that attention span is so short for those little ones.
So the parents not around them or just next to them?
Ideally, I like the parent to be there, but I have students whose parents are just too busy to be there during the lesson. So they just have learned how to do everything themselves. And honestly, they're awesome at it, even the little ones.
Will they go away?
Oh, there's his face.
There he is.
There's his face. Nice to meet you, Nancy.
Nice to meet you too, Rusty.
So you guys are actually not in a group. You're in the main room, but if you guys are fine with just staying here and talking.
So far, so good.
Okay, then I'm just going to make you guys your own group.
How many minutes?
Oh, we've got about 5 more minutes left.
Okay.
Okay, so what kind of topic are we supposed to be talking about?
Whatever concerns you. Ask questions, talk about Corona, just the things that are of most intrigue, and see where it goes. It could be how to retain students, how to teach beginners, how to get out of teaching, how to retire, whatever you want. See where it goes.
All right. All right, Rusty, what you got?
Well, I'm just looking at my living room, which was totally converted once we got the virus going, pandemic.
Computer problems, it won't be on my end.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I don't know about that, so I'll have to learn about that.
Oh, just like old-fashioned internet into the wall.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
It's more
if you do it over Wi-Fi, you get like half the bandwidth.
Yes.
So plugging it in to Ethernet gives you the full Monty.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The other questions we were supposed to be discussing.
How to attract new students, I think, maybe.
How about how to teach beginners?
That's a good question.
It helps if the parents are able to be there in the same room and they've had lessons before to kind of assist.
And
So you have two pianos? Did I see two pianos?
no, that's just my little baby grand over there.
Yeah.
And this is a table and chair.
You can write on it interactively during the lesson.
Right.
It's pretty great.
Well, something else.
Use Carol Matt's piano method as well. Carol Matt's, M-A-T-Z, and the interactive piano method, and she has up to 4 graded levels of curriculum for elementary students, and it's basically the price of 3 books. You can get either the whole digital set's $18, and you get performance book, lesson book, and the theory and interactive theory games online. If you buy the hard copy, it's $25. But I just found that was the easiest way to make assignments, to have the parents go register that and just work it out so that we're both working online right now. I have a lot of extracurricular material too.
Shows online that I'd like for them to come to my studio like once a month so we could get a handle on a few things. But I've got a couple of special needs of students, and doing digital with them is just like not working.
Well, our studio closed because it wasn't very big, and we couldn't manage just being out, and the owner did not get the small business loan that he applied for. So I'm only teaching online, which is a little awkward, but oh dear. And I can't teach, I'm in a condo, so I can't teach at home.
Right.
I'm just sort of, wondering about all of this. I was thinking of what you said also, maybe looking at them in their homes even once a month, and then getting them set for the month, and then teaching, online for the rest of the month. See how that would work.
Right. Well, we're going to see. I have some students that have grandparents that live in the home, and so they're all very skeptical about leaving the house even.
Yeah.
So, I've had to accommodate that, and it's okay as long as there's some sort of adult supervision. That has been kind of an issue for me, the grade school kids. So that's another thing I put out, is that if you got grade school kids with the digital parent, there has to be an adult proximity for that. But a question I would like to ask other people that are teaching is the issue with the cameras. Does anybody have a solution there?
I'm just doing using the camera on my computer, and I just angle the computer screen. I've kind of done low tech, and so far it's working okay. Or I hold, if I'm doing FaceTime, I just hold my phone over my hand, and my students say, "Move it a little left, move it a little." But it works.
When I've been a part of a Facebook group that people, and they put out these really big stories about the digital lesson, how the parents are screaming at each other in the background, and and the piano's in the hallway, and while they're teaching a lesson, people keep going back and forth. And so I was really hoping that in joining some sort of thing like this, that I could learn some things that we could put out to the parents to make them understand that in this lesson time that there needs to be a certain protocol going, like everybody quiet, whatever.
All right, thanks everybody for sharing your ideas with your group, discussing things that are frustrating to you, things that you're doing well, things that are succeeding. What I want to do now is take the last part of this discussion and discuss the top things, one from each group. So I'm going to just name out a group and a spokesperson to just tell me what is an issue that you would like addressed. Something that it's either how do you use your cameras. I heard a number of really good things. It could be how do you set up, how do you see the sheet music? It could be how do you teach a beginner that has never had a lesson before? how do you teach a 5-year-old, or whatever came up in your group. So let's start off with group number 1, which is Dirk. Dirk, what did you guys come up with? What was one good concern?
Yeah, well, I'm here. We talked a lot about just how teachers are getting new students and retention. For the most part, it sounds like we've got some amazing teachers, and the referrals are through the roof. So the referrals are the biggest thing. We did have a couple of two of the ladies in our group were really looking to learn how to do this virtual lesson. The reason they're here today is to really get a better handle on how to successfully teach a virtual lesson. So I think that's something, Aaron, that you definitely want to address, or
Perfect.
that's why we're all here.
Okay.
Yeah, referrals seems to be the biggest thing, and then a little bit of social media posts and things.
Excellent. Okay, next group we had Madeline Gendron. Your group. What did you guys come up with? And if it's the same, if you have the same concerns, feel free to just say the same stuff, and we'll move on to the next group.
No, that's fine. I thought someone else took notes for us.
Who was that?
But I don't have her name written down. But
She probably knows who it is.
So,
Who's in Madeline's group that took notes?
Christina was raising her hand.
Oh, Christina?
I'm so sorry. My mute was on. Yes.
Your lips move great.
You read my lips. We really worked on more about motivating. How do you motivate your students and retain them? And as Madeline was saying, most people use either MMTA resources in terms of, their preparation for technique, sight reading, performance, having Zoom titles, having technique charts, and looking at recording themselves and putting them on either a YouTube channel, SoundCloud, or Instagram. And that's my fastest one.
Okay. Thank you very much. In group number 3, we had Kathleen Isberg's group. Who wants to share from that group? Did I butcher your name?
Oh, I'm muted. Sorry. You'd think I'd know better. I do Zoom all the time. Yeah, I think one of the things we talked about was, how we talked about how people get new students, and talked about the viability of websites, and then one person mentioned that she has tried. I don't know if it's an app or it's a platform called Nextdoor, and that seemed to be very effective. It's a local type of thing.
Nextdoor.
Yes.
Yeah, you got to watch Nextdoor.
Okay.
A little bit. I can explain that.
Okay, I don't have any experience. It was just somebody else mentioned it. So.
Okay, thank you.
And let me see, what else did we talk about? Well, we talked about some of the technical issues with Zoom, and hoping to find a better sound platform. And then someone mentioned that they'd heard about Rock Out Live through Tim Toppa, which is a new platform that is competing with Zoom in terms of better sound.
Okay, thank you very much. Our next group, I believe it's Sandra Chung's group.
Hi, hello, I'm Sandra. So my group has Dorothy. She's going to talk for us. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's me. We also talked about Nextdoor.com, and I think the other, it's like a community bulletin board, and it's a great way. The only thing is they limit sale. They don't put businesses in their general feed. So
Right.
what you have to do is you have to go through there's just listed of businesses. But what you can do is if you have a special promotion, then it will come in the general feed, I believe. So you could do like a trial offer with so much % off. But it's really in your community, and it's quite active. So that's good. The other thing was, of course, word of mouth referrals with parents. And I suggested also to give cards to the parents to give to their schools, because parents within schools create a community, and then they could share that. That's really helped me a lot. Someone else mentioned a $25 for referrals for the next 3 months of tuition, getting a deduction on that, little incentives like that. An introduction letter where you kind of promote the new year, the next school year, with all the fun activities and make it really exciting, especially for retention of kids. And local teacher associations, so you can make up your own brochure and then put them in libraries and things like that. I think that's it.
Okay.
Oh, and a
thank you very
trial
much.
period. You could do a trial period and market it as a package. For beginners, you could do it with a package of the parents being recommended to be there at least for the first month, and that does work well. I've done it with a young child.
That's a
And then
very
the
good
parent
idea.
is kind of the assistant. Yeah.
Okay, our next group then is Elise Tuttle, your group. Anybody? Elise, are you muted? Who was in Elise's group? Anybody?
I was muted. I wasn't the one that was supposed to be the spokesman. Sorry.
That's fine.
So they can take over if they like.
Is that us?
I think, terrible. I should have written the name down, but we did talk about Rock Out Loud Live, and I'm not familiar with that. So if anyone has information,
Actually,
it was you, Penny. Now I can see you. Penny, what else did we talk about?
So sorry if there's a little fan noise. It's 100 degrees today, so I have to have the fan going. We talked about the need for social media presence, and for people who didn't have websites or used Facebook, how should they start a website? That website, and a few people answered that if you just create your website and you have enough people search words, that people will find you, and that is a way that most of us have been attracting new students. I think most of us shared the problems with all these various platforms and the frustrations of teaching online, even though we've all been teaching online. We talked a little bit about who's moving back to the studio and the things that we're using to do that. So that seemed to be the biggest concern was how do you develop a presence to attract new students?
Okay, thank you. Our next group is Michelle Robison's group.
I think I'm the spokesman there.
Okay.
Spokesperson. We had just an array of wonderful ideas here for motivating students and acquiring them. Let me start with Susie. I'm sorry I don't have people's last names here, but Susie has a program where she trains older students to teach younger students. This just sounded fantastic. Let's see. I think it's Anne, someone named Anne, who is apparently associated with you, mentioned using piano marble for teaching, and I believe we're going to hear more. She said we would be hearing more about that in this webinar later. Lisa mentioned recordings to play accompaniments for students, and also for tutorials for teaching specific parts of pieces or about music learning. Linda does a lot of networking, personal networking in her community, in the many groups that she's a member of. Even if she goes to the doctor's office, she's talking up piano. Let's see, I think, somebody mentioned, Anne mentioned using Google Photos for multiple uses. And 2 or 3 people mentioned using recordings, making recordings that they could use multiple times over and over again. I think that covers.
Okay, great stuff there.
Talk about.
Thank you. Sean Slade, who's spokesperson in your group?
I think they nominated me. So I had some great ideas in our group about motivating students from playing games online. Just really fun things for students at all levels. Teaching songs by rote right to begin with. I actually shared on the chats one of the YouTube channels that I think has some great resources. One of the songs that I originally taught my own son was a song called Classical Showdown. And I actually, it's on the chat group if you guys want to save and become favorites, make that one of your favorites for one of the that YouTube channel there. I think has some great resources for everybody.
Okay, thank you, Sean. And Brenda Kimball, your group. Either Brenda is muted or unavailable. Who was in her group? I can.
We didn't actually nominate anybody. Are you seeing me now?
Yes. Yep.
If there's somebody that wants to speak from my group, that's fine. We kind of were all over the place, but we talked quite a bit about sharing music with students. And I know that's not really, we didn't talk so much about marketing, but we were just talking about Fourscore, downloading music into Fourscore so we could annotate it or whatever, share it with students, and organizing students' music with set lists and things like that. Or with a file where we keep the students' copy of the music so we're literally on the same page. Also talked about making some videos perhaps for beginners for some of the foundational stuff. So we were, I guess most of our discussion was having to do with online music, sharing the music that our students are using and that sort of thing. And I actually did have a question about that, and maybe we can talk about it later, but I was curious if Piano Marble could be used like that, or like a subscription service for music, and how much of that we can share. Like, all my students don't have Piano Marble, but there's some good music in there, and I was curious about, what I can share there, if they all have to have their own copy of that music or their own subscription, that sort of thing.
Okay. All right, very good. I think that's all the groups. Thanks for sharing all those ideas. That gives us a really good idea of what's really on people's minds. And that brings us right into this next portion of the meeting, which is how do you teach an effective online lesson? What's the best video camera setup? How about sharing your music with your students? How to see their music clearly? Some people mentioned that they use a book, and just make sure you have a partner book at your house. I overheard somebody say it's kind of nice that they do that because then they make the student point to the music, but it's hard to be able to actually see what they're looking at from their camera angle. And so the camera angle becomes a real issue, and being able to see really clearly and write on their music. So I have found, I've experimented with a number of different ways to do it. So what I'm about to show you is a lesson that I taught to a beginning, well, this is the first time I ever taught this student. It was a new student, never met him before. I decided to just start off by giving him Arabesque, some piano before, but he had never tried that song. And I thought this will really impress his parents. If I can get a lesson started off right off the bat and give him something really practical and see if I can teach him how to play Arabesque in less than a week, that would really impress the parent. And so here's what we did. Sharing my screen. Before we get into that lesson, I think I will show you some resources that you guys have already in the agenda. Now, the agenda is going to be basically a resource page for you. So you get to keep this forever. there will be links over here, and you'll be able to see these links and just go right to that link. Down here at the very bottom, I've added some additional resources. You can see also some of these things that we're going to discuss, like video projects. There's a link to that, and you can go to a different page that talks about those. But down here, the student handouts, I'll just open this really fast and give you a quick tour. This will give you some really cool ideas that we're going to talk about later, but you don't have to take notes on this. You can just make sure to bookmark this. Teacher resources. Here's a really good article that talks about the 3 different kind of types of lessons, where it can be with your computer on the side, with the sheet music on the front, or using a device, or being able to utilize a little more interactive lessons. That has lots of really cool ideas. This would be, I put this on there so that you can go back and just read that article later. This one, Scale Ninja, one of the coolest resources that is absolutely free. Recommended Midi enabled keyboard. Some of you are wondering, what keyboard should I get? What's the best things out there? I put these here because I've researched a lot of them, and you can just open that list and kind of go through and see some specs of, whoops, I think I shared that in small view. It's not opening large. So from budget keyboards and what their specs are, all the way through.
No commission for you?
What's that?
No commission for you?
No commission for me. No, this is just stuff that I've found online that I've tested. I've tested hundreds of keyboards, and these are some that I find to be the best for different price ranges. Yep, this is just a good resource that I use to give to teachers. The recommended solos and duets. If you're looking for some really cool songs to get your students excited, this page is phenomenal. If you go to that later and you open that up, there's even like a level of difficulty. There are videos that you can watch on those. You want to just say, hey, I'm looking for a level 6 piece. Come over here and just watch the video and see if it's the song that your students want to do. There's a list of duets as well. So come over here, watch some of these duets and share it with your students. And most of these are free. You can print that music for free. Teaching tips from others. This, we're going to have you guys share, if you're willing, your tips for other teachers, and they'll just be able to see this. As you come across some tips, I need to put a link at the top where you can add a new thing. So those are going to be, we're going to be adding to that. And then group piano ideas. This is a really cool, just a list if you're looking for some puzzle games or teaching by rote or how to teach this or that. You'll see that this is a really good resource, and they all are linked to videos. So you can just watch the video of how this game looks. All right, so you have those resources. You can explore them at your convenience. Right now, we're going to go to this sample lesson with that student that I was talking about. So you have, I'm just going to let you watch this. I'm going to share my audio so you can hear it. Somebody interrupt me if you cannot hear. The rest of you, if you would like to put your microphone on mute, it'll make the audio much clearer so we can still hear some noise. There we go. All right, share audio, computer sound.
The video. Your student station should look nearly identical to yours. You want TeamViewer on their computer. You'll want their camera placed so that you can see their hands.
Now, I started off using TeamViewer, but TeamViewer I've found that Zoom actually works better. So you can think of this as Zoom because Zoom allows you to control the students' sheet music.
This is the basic setup. Let's go ahead and move to some real live shots, and then I'll start a lesson where I introduce a student and assign them a new piece to start learning. There are 3 views that I like my students to have. One is this, where it's a bird's eye view of my hands, so I can demonstrate how to play things the same way that they would look down and see their hands. Secondly, is a view where they can see from the side. So right here, now they can see me at the side at this angle, like they were watching me perform. And thirdly, I like to be able to see the students right in front of me next to the computer. And this allows me to see what they're doing. And over here, it allows me to control their computer. I can, via TeamViewer, what I do is I have their screen up here and I can tell them click this note or that note. I can highlight things, slow it down, and have a lot of control. I can see what they're missing. At the same time, I can see their hands playing. So that is the setup. The one other thing you might want is this gooseneck, which you can see will bend around. Real quickly, let me show you what this looks like. This is simply an attachment. It's a mic clip you can get for about $6-7 anywhere online. And it just opens up, closes. I put it on my phone, just like that. And it holds it really well. What I've done is I put a little bit of tape right here so that it's not slippery. And then I don't have a case on my phone, so it was very slippery. I also put some tape on that. You can see it holds it really well. Those are the pieces that you need. Now I'll show you a lesson and how it works online. All right, Matthew, how are you doing? Pretty good. Good. I'm excited for our lesson today. I want to go ahead and show you a new song that we'll start for the next recital. It's called Arabesque. Have you ever heard of that one?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, let me go ahead and show you. First, I'm going to perform it for you.
All right.
And I'll just move my camera here so you can see my fingers. You can see my fingers, and here we go. All right, what do you think of that one? Okay, it's a fast song, but I think it learns really quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce it to you here. Let's go to the library, and I'm going to click on this plus. We'll add it into your library, and we'll move over to my favorites. Click on that, and
a lot of people are wondering probably what this software is. This is Piano Marvel, and there's a library with thousands of, I think there's like 25,000 different sheet music, and they're adding like 500 a month more on this. So this is a great resource. You'll see how I utilize it in this lesson here.
Down here, I want you to do it in the midst, and I'll see how fast you can get through the program. This is basically built so you can just learn it in sections. So this very first one, in case you're not aware, there's a video tutorial if you need it. You can just click on this. Just hit the play button. It'll just walk you through
if you want to, you can use that tutorial. Otherwise, if you know how to read this, you're good. If you don't remember what note that is, you just click on it. And so let me go ahead and start you off in prepare mode. Can you play that first part for me? All right, super easy for you. I'm going to click assess now. Sit in time. Excellent. Hit the forward button or the arrow and then hit the space bar again to start.
Set, go.
Hit the forward button and let's go full speed.
All right. Set, go.
Excellent. Okay, forward button. We're going to the left hand. Hit the prepare mode and let me just watch your fingering as you play this. Okay, that looks good. And hit the assess.
Set, go.
Okay, that's pretty good. We just had an F chord when you first started. I can see you missed this note, which was the E, but you did play an F, and then you caught it right away and jumped up. Did you realize that you could stop it? Yeah, play the first note, but miss some, or sorry, the first measure, but miss some, and then stop it with the space bar.
Set, go.
So if you notice I messed up, I'm just gonna stop it and start all over. So you don't have to play through the whole thing knowing that it wasn't good just on that first measure. Okay, good job. So notice over here in the top corner, you are 6% of the way complete with this song. How long do you think it'd take for you to finish this song? I liked that you looked at your watch. Most people say, oh, I could do it in a month, 2 months. I asked you how long, you looked at your watch. 10 minutes? 15 minutes? I don't know. That's awesome. Very cool. All right, I like this format because it just gives you the you click over here on where you are, and it just tracks right through there. Now I would, because you're a better reader, I think I might go to chopped for you on this one. Can you think you could read hands together pretty well enough?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's just do the first 1, 2, 3 sections and see how you do. I'm just gonna watch you practice and see how fast you get through this. You're welcome to speed it up for me if you want. Do you know how to speed it up?
Yeah.
If you don't want to go that slow because it's really easy for you, just hit the plus key and you notice the tempo changes. Now hit the plus and hold it down until it gets to about 60. Ooh, that's a little fast. Remember, these are 16th notes. All right, now hit the space bar.
Set, go. Set, go.
That 4 chord got you there, huh?
Yeah.
Let's do it again. I think you got it this time.
Set, go.
Nailed it. Next. This time let's go 70. Hit the plus key and get it up to about 70. Oh, it's at 80. Never mind. Let's go to 80. Outstanding. Next. Okay, next. This one, let me see you do it in prepare mode first. This is the second line. Be careful of your fingering. Do it again. Same thing. Okay. My team viewer froze. Keep going.
Notice it took me a while before I realized my team viewer actually froze. I thought something went wrong, but it was just the video.
Yeah, I want you to just keep going.
So here I'm busy trying to figure out what went wrong on my computer. So I just told him, keep practicing. In the background, I'm trying to figure out a technological problem with TeamViewer, but he's still working. You can see in the right. And I got my TeamViewer to work again, so now I can see the video. Of course, I use Zoom now, and I'll show you how to do the zoom in a bit.
Next.
One of the reasons I want you to can just see the process. You can see how this generation of learners, how it's just so instinctual for them to use technology. Like, you don't even have to tell them twice how to use shortcuts. They know so much faster how to use this than we do.
One more note.
And sometimes it just takes patience, watching students practice. A lot of times I get less patient, lose patience, and I just skip things. But
awesome.
I learned in my
what's your percentage completion?
older years to just sit and watch them practice.
That took you about all
time.
but 3-4 minutes. So another 3-4 minutes, you'll be up to 30%.
So now I'm wrapping up the
so
lesson.
yeah, I
It was
think
really
you
a
probably
short
do it
lesson.
in one day.
But we knocked out a bunch in one
That will
day.
be your assignment for this week. I want you to go ahead and get as far as you can through your stars. And then I'd like...
So this next part is actually something very tricky that the teachers do need to consider, and that is, what are they going to do away from you? And so at wrapping this up, what I want to make sure is that he's going to practice at home when I leave this lesson. So teach a man to fish is way better than giving him the fish. So what I'm trying to do is teach him how to practice while he's with me, so that when I leave, he can continue practicing. So watch how I do this.
You to either Marco Polo me or text me this percentage. I like Marco Polo a lot. Have you ever used Marco Polo? It's a video app. It's kind of like texting, but with the video. Mary, can you go ahead and Marco Polo that to me? To show you. Yeah, just take a quick video and say, hey, he's at 14%. I didn't take a picture of your face. Nice. Okay. Very good. I will see you next week, and good luck with your practicing this week.
Thank you.
Okay, see you later.
So we'll go ahead and let me stop this video share. And let's talk about some of the things there that is different than some of the other things that maybe we've tried online. I've tried so many things online, and I would say the biggest thing here is not necessarily my video. I can actually teach very effectively with almost no video. If I can see their music and they know exactly what I'm talking about, and I can control their music. So I can highlight things, I can tell them play this note, do this or that, and I can see what feedback they have. I can probably teach songs about 10 times faster now than I ever could 5 years ago before I had this kind of technology. It's actually posed a new problem for me in that students will learn this song what used to take 3 months, 2 months to get ready for the recital. Now they learn it in 1 week, and we're talking third graders. I'll start the song, just show them how to do it. They learn the song in a week, and now suddenly they come back and they've got the song learned. So I spend my lesson time teaching them how to make it sound good, how to use staccatos and the musicality of it, which is really fun. But then now that they've got that song learned, I've got to give them another recital piece. And so I'm having to come up with 10 times the amount of recital pieces and repertoire for my students because they're learning so fast. But it is really cool, though, that with technology, we can teach so quickly. And we don't have to spoon feed things anymore. You notice one of the things that I did was I was just teaching him how to utilize the tools in the software so that when he left, he knew how to use the space bar. He knew the shortcuts. He knew how to click on a note. He knew how to use the prepare mode, how to use the assess mode, and how to move on to the next section of the song. So I didn't have to teach him, okay, next week we'll look at this part too, because he knows just to move on without me. So I've really empowered him to learn this song without me so that my lesson time with him can be more productive with things that are fun, like how to make it sound cool or how to make a cool video out of it, which is something that I think is becoming super, super important to almost every generation, and every business is expecting their employees to do video because that's how we're marketing in the future. We as piano teachers actually can provide this skill for students. I want to introduce you to Michelle Robison. Michelle, are you there? I'm going to spotlight your video. You started doing some video things when you were younger in high school. How did that impact you when you started going into college and you were starting to compete in a different world in your field, which wasn't even music, by the way?
Right, yeah. So I studied communications in college. And can you hear me? I have like my AC's running and it's kind of...
I can hear you. I'm going to spotlight your video.
Okay. So yeah, I was able to do some video, like music video type projects in high school that really taught me more than probably the rest of high school, the whole thing ever did, because I had to get in and learn it for myself. And when I got to college, it turned out that it was actually probably the biggest advantage that I had over my peers was that I had already done some video projects. And so like I said, I did communications, that was my major. And I wasn't specifically going into a music related field, but I was able to use the things that I learned as a music student to be able to take music and apply it in the real world. Because I was never intending to become a piano teacher. I did, but that wasn't my intention growing up or going into college. And my intention also wasn't to be a concert pianist. So when I was taking music lessons as a child and teenager, my intention was basically just to have fun and also to be able to share it with people that I loved and my friends. So when I went to college and came with that different background, I actually learned that my experience with piano was way more important than I ever thought it would be, because it took me into my major and into my career in a way that I never could have expected, and that was through video.
Okay, thank you, Michelle. I'd like to pose this question for some of you who haven't thought about that. How do I unhighlight this video? Unspotlight, spotlight. I've lost it. I'm trying to.
Okay. I like being the center of attention.
There you go. Just unspotlighted you. There's a big cancel spotlight button in the middle. So how important do you think video is going to become to the future generation as far as a skill to create videos? And what part can piano lessons play in people's lives, like you saw with Michelle? I have found that more and more businesses are actually dependent on marketing through video, whether it's YouTube, website, or whatever. They have to create really good video with really good audio. I don't know if you guys have done a video for your students and just listen to the quality of the audio. It's a very interesting thing to see the different quality. If you get somebody who's recording, their piano's out of tune, you can hear fan noise, their cameras staticky, and then you compare it to a professional recording or even an amateur recording with somebody who knows a couple of tricks. You'd be shocked how easy it is to improve your sound with just a few tips. I actually created a video that will show you guys how to do that. And I'm going to share it with you tomorrow. But what I did is I took several different microphones, recorded it, and just compared the audio sound, and just showed some really cool things that your students could do to improve their video. The other thing is, what kind of video ideas? Your students should be really creative and doing some really fun videos. Have you ever had students try duets online? Try it over Zoom, see if it works. I think universally, it's a bad idea. You cannot do a video, and I've tried so many different software that claim you can. I have never seen it work because there's always a little bit of delay. So how many of you would be interested in just seeing how to create a video duet online with students that is super, super simple? Is that something?
That'd be great. Yeah.
Okay.
I would like that. Yeah.
And I share that with you because when you think about what you offer for students, you want to create something that is appealing to them. And what's appealing to them is usually that they can go, well, recitals have been big in the past, right? You go up, I'm going to get in front of a group and I'm going to perform this thing I worked really hard to do. And then there's 100 people sitting in the audience watching me. So you get to share your hard effort with 100 people. It's a phenomenal thing. But guess what you can do now is you can create a video and share it with thousands, and some students get millions of views. And it's become a social thing where those who can get the most views actually stand the best chance at business, being able to market themselves. But it's also like with their friends. They want their friends to accept them and be liked. And if somebody comments on their video, hey, great job, or grandma sees it, it's a huge, huge thing. And it's going to become one of the centerpieces for our teaching in universities and in private lessons. So really quickly, I made a video and I did it yesterday, and I recorded this. This is me playing a duet with myself. You can do this with two different students, but I decided I'm going to do a duet with myself and see how fast I can get it up onto YouTube. And so here it is. It took me, by the way, I think it was 14 minutes flat from the time I started the video to the time I posted it on YouTube, which you might not be impressed with, except that it is, you have to take two videos and combine them together, the primo and the secondo. So here we go. If you've never seen this program, it is called Camtasia. And it's one of my favorite video editing software that I've used so far. This one is not free, but there are some free ones that I'm going to mention later on.
Your screen is not shared.
Oh, thank you. Sharing screen. And let me just make sure my audio is still shared. Yep. All right. So back to Camtasia. And here's a video. So if you have never tried doing that before, it seems kind of unremarkable. But if you've tried doing it before, then you realize that there are some issues with this. How do I stop sharing my screen? I got to get back to Zoom. Okay, so somebody who has tried this before, what is the hardest thing about duets when you're having students do it together online? Nobody's tried this before?
Latency.
Starting together.
Latency.
They can't hear each other.
Okay, so far somebody said latency. Latency, we've already discussed, is an impossible thing to do to overcome over any Zoom or Skype, or I think somebody mentioned one called Rockout Live. I tried another one. Josh Mills showed me one. What was that one called?
Oh man, I forget.
It was like a live jam live.
Jam
Kazam. They claimed that there was zero latency and you could actually rock out with a band. We couldn't get it to work. So, and then we read some reviews that other people said they couldn't get it to work either. So that one's out the window. You can't do it over Zoom. How do you do it?
The only way I've been able to do it is that I record it on my phone, send the phone to the family, then they play the phone back as a student is playing with it on Zoom. So that's how we've been able to do it.
And how do you handle the sound? Like, do they put an earbud in so they don't hear, so you can't hear the sound, or do they record that sound too?
There's no after effect or bad effect. It's just a matter of getting balance. So they put the phone really close.
So the phone is the duet. Okay. Can you see the video of the other person?
Yes.
So you can see yourself playing side by side with?
No. The visual is only the student playing.
Okay. So it's much more entertaining if you can see both the primo and the duet playing like you did in my video. It seems really difficult. Anybody have any idea how I did it?
Yeah, you record two separate videos and you mash them together.
And how did I match them together? I mean, would the timing would be off?
Well, when I do it, I use iMovie. I remove the audio. I put the videos together and then I put back the audio and sync the audios.
Okay, but how do you keep it on tempo? Do you have a metronome that they play to?
Well, two things. One person does the video first and sends the audio, which they listen to the audio and then record their audio. So that
So
record,
are they listening while they're recording?
they're listening to the other person play while they're recording so that they're in time.
And is it in a headphone so that their microphone's not picking it up?
Yes. So because for both of them anyhow, I would send a leader, I don't know what you call it, a guide track. So a guide track is made and they both use the guide track to record.
Okay. So you can do a guide track that way. There's also, if you could use a metronome.
Yeah.
A lot of people use a metronome, put an earpiece in so that and if you do it with a metronome, everything's going to sync because it's in time. Let me show you what's really cool about the way I did this one. And how
But you can't use a metronome if you have things like RIT and so.
Retardando, yeah. In that case, you have to do it with a single track and then play over that. And then you can sync your video, like you can get rid of the audio. Let me show you how this one worked. I did it super fast. Next step I did.
So after watching
that was not the video. It's right here. So next thing I did was I just recorded, started a camera. You can see it over here on the left. And I started, this is basically a metronome that I'm using with Piano Marvel, but you can see the sheet music with the metronome. So you don't have to have it memorized. You can just read along right with the metronome and the sheet music turns pages and everything for you. Super easy. I just read the seconda first. Go. Now, what you don't see from the video is my earpiece. Notice I've got an earpiece in there. And that's so that you don't hear so the only one that can do that metronome is myself. So then I'll take and move my camera over to the other side. And the reason why you want to do that to the other side is so that you can, on the video, you're facing each other. And I got to switch my earpiece over to the other side because I don't want the video to see that. And then I'll hide it. I should have got the single earbud. And then I'll start my music and just play. 1, 2, 3, go. Now I'm doing the solo part. So now I got my video done, both videos on one video. Notice I didn't stop the recording, I just let it keep running. So now what I have to do is I have to share this video, upload it to Drive. So I'm going to upload this video to Drive, and you can see on the left the screen. And it's preparing to upload to Drive now. While it does that, I'm going to go over to my computer where I'm going to edit the video. It's like watching paint dry. That's the longest part of the project, is waiting for it to upload. But again, it took 14 minutes to get this from nothing all the way onto YouTube. Completed project. So now that it's uploaded, I guess it was preparing to upload, now it's uploading. So the next step is I will show you what I'm doing on the computer. So on the computer, I open up Drive, and I do a search for that video. And once I find, I'm just going to fast forward this. Once you find that video, then you download it to your computer, and you can put it into some video editing software. And the video, there's some free video editing software. One of them is for iPad or iMac book is iMovie. You can do all this and that. There's another one that I'm going to share tomorrow. It's one I found yesterday. But this is Camtasia. And so I just drag the movie onto the software, and then I drag it down here to my track 1, and that's both of the videos. So the next step is I need to split it in half and put it on top of each other so they overlap. Now I already know that when I did it to a metronome that the timing's going to all line up. So I'll just delete the first part of the video, drag it over to the left, and then over here I found where it is. I'll just, I edit the audio, bring it up a little bit louder to make it easy to hear. And I'll split it right here. And then I'll take that one and I'll put it into track 2. So now I have my videos laid over on top of each other. So the next step is you have to just shrink down those videos so you can see both of them at the same time. And so that's what I'll do here. Actually, I guess the first thing I did here was I needed to line up these audio waves, which it makes it really easy in video editing software because you can see the spikes, and you just need those spikes to line up. So now I've got my spikes to line up. I'm going to separate my videos, make them smaller so you can see both at the same time. And then there's a lot of extra room that I don't need to see my piano, so I'm just going to trim out this part right here. And then I can trim out this one too. This one you can now make bigger because there's extra room with it trimmed. And so you want it to take about half of the screen. I'm gonna have to edit that just a little bit. And you can see how quick that is to just crop it out, put it where you want, and you got yourself a video. Your students can do this now from home, and it's super easy. After you've finished editing that video, I mean, I could do some audio work on this, which would make it sound a lot cooler. But after that, then you just go up to this button at the top and you say share and click on the local file if you want to send it to the local file, or you can send it right to YouTube. I chose to do it to my local file and then upload it to YouTube later. You probably should learn how to do both of those. And then hit finish. And it exports the video. So once my video is done, I go to YouTube and upload my video. And many of you have probably already done this. If you've never uploaded a YouTube video, that's probably something you should learn how to do. And I'll just show you really quickly, because I'm recording this session. This will help you if you want to just come back to this and see how it's done. It's not yet finished rendering here. Let me just fast forward here. So now that it's done, I'll go to YouTube, open up, I think I skipped a spot. You just click select a file. You open the video that you just finished, find the folder where you saved it, and that's it. You double click and now it's on YouTube. So you can, in YouTube, you just name it whatever you want, give it a description, and then after the description, you can get your link to the video. Oh, no, it's not made for kids because now they've got some special restrictions. And then click on that link. Next, make it public. And then anybody can see that video. You could just send them a link and the video's done. 14 minutes flat, went from nothing to a finished product of a video. Now that requires that you have some video editing software. There are some free ones that we're going to talk about, and I'll show you that a little later. But this is, I think, one of the things that piano teachers really have not delved into yet, because it's a new thing up and coming. Some of you have, especially if you're a younger generation, you've probably done a lot of this in school because they've been required to do it in school. So we have a few minutes left. Let's have a quick discussion. I've got to go back to stop sharing my screen. So
I do have a question dealing with privacy rights with minors and having students upload videos. Some parents may, not want their students on the web. So how do we deal with that?
You can always click it as, mark it as only, or you can mark it as private, or you can mark it as unlisted. So only people with the link can find it. So I have found that us in the older generation, this is something that we worry about. The younger generation actually understands the platform much better, and they don't worry about privacy issues because there's billions of videos on the internet. There's billions. And so everybody is on the internet. It's really not an unsafe thing to do. You're not giving your private information. They've been very careful with Google to follow very strict guidelines. Let me ask somebody a little younger, Michelle. What are your thoughts on this? What does the younger generation think?
Yeah, my generation and younger, I'm pretty sure it's a non-issue. For us, I do understand though that there are parents who have it in their heads that their kids are going to get taken if they have a video on YouTube. Like that's a concern that we need to be respectful towards, even though it's not founded. So if you have students or parents of your students who do feel that way, you can try to explain it to them, but ultimately just be respectful of their wishes. And if they don't want to share it with a bunch of people, you can always do an unlisted video that you can only share by link with the people that you want to see it.
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you. Did that answer that question pretty well?
Yes.
Okay. What other questions do you guys have about, let's first we'll go back to the lesson format. I'm sure everybody has tried some online lessons at this point, and we've all had some lessons that have just not been as effective as in-person lessons. And what I mean by not as effective is they're not fun, and you don't learn as fast. What are some of the things that actually make lessons more effective than an in-person lesson? Josh Mills, have you thought of that? Like with the new technology we have today, what are some of the things that allow us to learn more efficiently and more effectively that we could do online and it's not a hindrance?
Yeah, having online is a great advantage to pianists and students and teachers, I think. I mean, you can have instant access to hear what a phrase should sound like, or you can do so many different things with technology, and it's awesome.
Okay. Who else has some experiences with being able to control people's music on score? Somebody mentioned Fourscore. You can actually take, and in fact, Josh, what I want to do is really quickly do a quick lesson with you. We have just a few minutes We could do this tomorrow. We should probably stick to our lesson timing. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this next part that talks about controlling your students' music, being able to draw on it with some of the Zoom settings, like the annotation. Allows you to see the students' music. How important is it that you can control and see students' music, do you think? What's the value in that, rather than trying to see it from a side camera? Just got some thoughts on that.
Off, you're able to help them get back on track. We use a PDF reader, and they set their computer up on their piano, and they just read straight from that as we mark the music. They follow along. You can zoom in and zoom out so they only see one line at a time. You can use your mouse or a drawing tool to kind of make the student follow along. It's ridiculously important so they don't get ahead, they don't get behind. If they miss an interval, you can go back and fix it so they don't practice things improperly. Yeah, both teacher and student do need to see the music.
Yeah, so you've tried it both ways, haven't you, Dirk?
Yeah, for the longest time I just had the music in front of me, like an extra book in front of me, and the student had a book, and trying to talk them through, and they had to mark their own music, which they still have to mark their own music. But now we're using a PDF reader where we've got all of our music uploaded onto our computers, and then we share the screen so the student can see exactly what we're doing. So we mark everything just like we would if we were sitting next to them live, and then they have to get their pens and markers and crayons and everything out and mark their physical copy so they can practice at home without us sitting there. So at first it became a little more tedious, but now that the students understand the routine, it's a piece of cake. Our lessons are every bit as efficient as they were.
If you had to give a percentage of how much more effective it is with being able to see the music and control it through Zoom's control their screen?
I think you need to, you don't necessarily need to control it. You just need to be able to make sure the student
just be able to
get
see it
ahead of you. Yeah, students got to be able to see it.
Have you ever used request remote control?
No.
So you might want to do that. Requesting remote control over their screen is so phenomenally helpful, like huge time saver. You don't have to tell people, click on that, no, click on that, no. You can highlight it, you can draw on it, you can do anything on their computer. And that's a setting in Zoom. You just click in the settings, you say request remote control. They just click a button and you have control over their sheet music. It's really cool.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, and as far as what things you can use, I use it with Piano Marvel because I can upload any sheet music I want into it. And not only does it allow me to see the music, but they can actually learn the song straight from the software. It gives them feedback, shows you which notes you got right, which ones you got wrong. And we're actually going to be putting a ton of more free material into it by tomorrow. So that you guys can use it for duets and solos and not have to worry about having a subscription to it. So there's other things like Fourscore. That one's a little bit harder to use and upload content. But it's worth checking that one out. There's another one, C-Score. PDFs is another way you can do it. You can create a Google folder and just drop them all into a Google folder. Of course, you don't get the interactive assessment there. MuseScore online is a phenomenal resource. You can do the same thing that I did with recording my sheet music right off of MuseScore because they have a little play button online. It's not as accurate with the metronome because it is streaming it, and Piano Marvel actually downloads the file, and so it's more strict with the metronome. But again, MuseScore is a phenomenal resource. If you haven't checked that one out, I'm going to give you that link tomorrow to these resources as well. Tomorrow should be a really fun event. Again, we're going to record the session. We've run out of time for today, so look forward to seeing some really cool things tomorrow morning, same time, 9 o'clock Mountain Standard Time. We'll see y'all later, everybody. If you want to just stick around and ask some questions, you're welcome to leave. And if you want to stay, I'm going to stay on for the next 30 minutes and just answer people's questions. Thanks for attending.
Awesome. See you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Aaron, this is Dirk. I'm going to be an hour late tomorrow. I teach from 9 to 10, but
Okay,
I will be showing up at 10.
Okay, I'll get that recorded though for you.
Okay, thank you. Have a great
How
day.
do we
Thanks for
access
everything.
the recording?
I will be sending it via email.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Dirk. It was fun having you on. Loved your insight.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'd love to talk more about the actual dynamics of a virtual lesson because like you guys, I've been doing it for close to 4 years. I've got students internationally and I've got students all over the States. So
yeah. Tell me some of those questions. Are you in a hurry right now?
No, I teach at 11:30. I don't have any questions. I just would love to share just kind of how you do, because we don't use interactive music like you guys do. We use the PDF. So the student has to actually mark their music. And I think that is ridiculously beneficial because now they have to go through, and when our student was sitting next to us, we would mark their music. You know, we'd write in their counting, we'd circle
But
the
now
time
they
signature,
have to
we'd
do
write
it?
the key signature. Now they have to do it. And I feel like the learning is not only more efficient, but it's retained much better because they're doing all the work.
Definitely.
So instead of us doing the work for them, they have to write in the counting. So now they're starting to see the subdivision of the beat much more efficiently. They have to write in their interval markings so they aren't tripped up by a fourth anymore because they found it before we even sight read it.
Yeah, I love it. It's really good. What I found is the difference if they use the interactive software, it probably it does a lot of the work for them, like splitting it up. Like they don't have to find the first phrase. It automatically just takes them to like, here's the first phrase, learn this part at this slow speed. So it kind of forces them to practice really professionally. It's like practicing professional for dummies. But you don't make them, set their own metronome. And a lot of times students just are so lazy that they won't practice slow. And so I kind of like that I can set the tempo that I want them to practice it at, and they have to do it slow because they learn so much faster. So I've learned that, yeah, it is kind of dummied down for them. They don't have to split the song up and find the phrases and analyze it, but they do learn music probably 8 times faster.
Yeah, when we hand out speeding tickets for fast practice, and we bust their chops all the time.
That's good.
That when they practice too much or too fast.
But this way you can control their speed. They don't even realize they're practicing slow. They're just trying to pass off that section. Yeah, it's pretty cool. You might just experiment with it on some students. It's called the chopped and minced slicing. And you can just go get, there's thousands and thousands of pre-made ones like Beethoven or Mozart or even easier songs. That list that I gave you from the agenda, that's got some really good examples in there. You can just try out one of those songs. Or you can upload your own and chop it up into learning segments. Or you can assign a student to upload their own song and then chop it up themselves and review how well they did, like finding the right phrases and stuff. So it can be used as a project for students. We do that for universities with people who are doing like an assistantship, not as an assistantship, an internship. We give them music and we say, all right, you need to split this up into learning segments that you could give to a student that would make sense. And at first, it's ridiculous where they choose to split it up.
The end of the line. Mid-phrase, the end of the line. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And these are people who are music majors, right?
Right.
But
absolutely.
they pick up really quickly once they give that thing to a student and they're like, oh, this is not working, you guys. And so it's really a cool process, just teaching them how to split music up into learning segments.
Absolutely. Yeah, and learning musical phrases at a time makes so much more sense and creates much more efficient learners too.
Yeah, but to find those phrases is kind of tricky. Especially for, well, you wouldn't even want to try it on Bach. Some of those Bach things, there's just no good stopping spot.
I'm teaching the Chopin F minor piano concerto right now, and we're laughing because it's just one great big run-on sentence. It's hilarious. He's got a passage of like 100 measures where he doesn't stop to breathe. I'm like, yeah, let's cut it off here. That works.
Yeah. Or what you do is you learn to overlap them. So you're going to do measures 1 through 6 and then measures 5 through 12.
Right. Exactly. Cool. Well, I'm going to get ready for my lessons. Thanks so much, Aaron.
Yeah,
Have a great day, everybody. We'll see everybody tomorrow.
Yeah, who else has got something fun?
Just a quick question, if I could.
Yeah.
Just at the beginning, I missed, how did you find a whiteboard? How do you just get the whiteboard on?
Yeah, it's on the share screen. So if you click on share screen, there are a lot of different options, and one of them is whiteboard. You want me to enable share screen?
Yes, please.
Okay. Screen sharing has been enabled. Click on your share screen, and then you'll see a whiteboard there.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So there it is. Okay.
Now everybody on this chat who's left can see your whiteboard.
Yes. Okay. Great. And the options were in annotate and so forth?
And we can all draw on it. Yep. I'm the only one drawing. Oh, I see somebody else. No, that's actually a really fun feature in Zoom.
Okay.
Do all kinds of things with that.
Is it just in Zoom or could you do it in Skype? Do you know?
You can do that in Skype. They don't have a whiteboard that I know of.
Okay. All right. All right. Thank you for that answer.
You're welcome. How do I stop your? Here we go.
I have a quick question.
Wait, let's see who is first. Is there a raise hand thing on here?
Yes.
Hey.
Where's the raise hand?
Find out.
Reaction. Oh, no.
No, just on the, there should be one.
Four participants raise their hand. How did you find that?
On my phone. I'm on a phone, so I click on
okay.
more.
Yeah,
On the more.
I
Or
don't
find
see
the
where
three
hands are
dots
raised.
or the three lines or whatever you have, or maybe settings.
More, and then
No.
Where's
You
more?
might not have it because you're the host.
Maybe, but I also
click on
can't.
participants.
I can't see where the hands are raised. Like I saw, it said 4 hands raised. I see 94 chats. I don't see the hand. Somebody raises their hand really fast. Let me see if I can see it again. Well, not physically. Digitally. Raise your hand digitally. Oh, I see the hands. Okay. Can you put your hand down?
Yeah, where do you find it?
Yeah, where do you find it?
Right where you raised your hand,
can put
now
your
there's the
hands
option
down.
to lower it.
Well, whatever that is. Yeah, I see reactions.
Mandy said to click on your participants box. So I tried that.
The little blue hand next to the...
And the participants at the bottom of your screen.
Good.
Click on that.
Okay.
You guys see it now?
Oh, and
So,
then
I'm going to let everybody raise their hand and then lower their hand. Go for it.
I don't see it.
Oh, I see it now.
Oh, I see it.
I can't tell that I did.
Edward just raised his hand.
Yeah, and now you lower, and then it goes to
Old-fashioned
lower.
way. Okay, now everybody lower their hand. And now somebody with a legit question, raise your hand. All right, I am going to say, oh, look, I can lower. I can see Jenny's. I just lowered Jenny's hand. Go ahead, Jenny.
Oh, hi. Thanks again for all of your presentation and the thoughtfulness you put behind this.
You're
I just
welcome.
wanted to ask, I just wanted to ask about the audio quality. You filmed with your phone for the quick video you showed us. Do you find that's good enough audio quality, or
Absolutely not.
do you think that we should look into an audio interface, or
I used to think it was
'cause
good
I'd love
audio
to do kind
quality.
of better video quality. Yeah.
Tomorrow I'm going to share how to really do good audio in a hurry.
Oh, awesome.
And you'll get to hear the difference between them.
Awesome.
Great.
Yeah, that's
Thank
cool.
you.
Good
Yeah,
question.
'cause
though.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about, competitions if we're going to be doing these online and it's
Absolutely. Yeah, you can imagine the kids who have the better audio have much better advantage. It just makes you feel like it's a better recording, better performance. I've got Dorothy.
Yeah, I just wanted to, I really think, I like the idea of putting the ball in the kids' court more. And I like the idea of them having to mark the music. It just makes for more engagement. And
Yeah.
like, was it Dirk who said they retain better? They just become more like little adults. So what was that he said he used with the PDF? So that you can mark the music?
Well, you can't actually mark it with the PDF that he's talking about. All he was saying is you can see the music digitally that way, and then he said they have a paper copy that they write on.
Oh, okay.
So they do it on the screen, and then from there they take their paper copy and they write on it.
Okay, but they mark, so who marks it? The teacher marks the stuff, or they?
Yeah, let me share with you my screen really fast.
So the teacher marks it and then they mark it.
Actually, okay. Josh, let's do this experiment with Josh. Josh, I want you to start learning a song called, well, let's do everybody know that one? Would you open up Piano Marvel? And let's just take a look at your screen.
Can you see it?
And can you type in Mozart for the composer and the title Rondo alla Turca, or Rondo? Now, will you open that song and can you circle for me the third note? I want you to do it with your annotation. So go to the top, open up annotation stuff, and just do a little draw line. And I want you to circle the third note in measure 3 in the left hand.
Third note, measure 3, left hand. Wow.
No way.
It's actually measure 2.
Yeah, measure 2. Measure 2.
You guys are so sticky. So picky. There we go.
So is this
that was not a full measure.
This is in Piano Marvel, but what you're writing on the screen is Zoom.
Right.
So you're just using the annotations that I showed you at the very beginning. So
okay,
what I like to do is I can also have like my arrow, and I can say, Josh, can you tell me what this note is right there?
G.
It's a G. Can you tell me what this note is?
E.
Oh, that's wonderful. So this
you
is all on
Zoom.
Zoom.
I'm going to change colors. Can you tell me that note?
F.
Now this is on Zoom.
Yeah, and I can clear the board just by saying clear. And say, all right, I want you to go ahead and play. Now what's really cool is in Piano Marvel, it's actually interactive. So Josh, can you click on the prepare button? And can you play the first measure and just stop there? Or keep going, whatever. Now, what I want to do next is I want to request remote control because I want to actually be able to talk about some things. So if I request remote control, I click on request, he gets a button that says, do you want to give control over to your teacher? And he said yes. So now I actually have control over his computer and I can highlight, well, actually I'm not being able to highlight for some reason. Here we go. Okay, now I'm highlighting his computer, like I'm controlling his sheet music. Super, super cool. I can click on a note and it'll tell him what note to play. And I can say, you know, I just want you to do this part right here. Let's just do that much. Can you go ahead and just play this? And I'll click on prepare and I'll wait for him to play a wrong note for me, Josh. Now play the right note. Now play the left hand with it. There you go. Go on. Play the left hand with it. There you go.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very good. Now I want you to do it in time. So I'm going to say just click on the assess button and it'll do it in time. Now I know he's got it. So it's actually really cool. You can just open Piano Marvel and find almost any sheet music, or you can upload your own sheet music.
Right. And then if you upload your own, then you can still do this on Zoom.
That's right. And you can even print this. So this is free to print. If you click on the print button, they can print the music and write on it if they want to. And that's all free.
Right.
So there's so much free stuff on here. It's crazy.
So could I ask a question about this?
Yeah.
So I subscribe to Piano Marvel, and so I have access to all this music. What I'm curious about is just copyright issues. Like I noticed that I can download and print stuff, and I can also save it as a PDF file, and I can put it in my documents in my music staff. So my question is that okay?
Yes, anything in the public domain or anything by Piano Marvel is free to use.
Okay,
There's no
awesome.
restriction on it. Yep, and there's thousands and thousands of songs, really good stuff.
Sarah, real quick, where do we find the shelf?
You will find if you try to get a pop song that it doesn't allow you to print it. So you can't. There are certain songs you can't use, and that's like the pop songs in there.
The recent ones.
Okay, Deborah, you have a question.
I have a question about whiteboard. Well, actually about the Piano Marvel first. What does the student have equipment to both be having a piano lesson and have whiteboard at the same time? Or Piano Marvel? What do they have to have?
Just a computer or an iPad.
And are you talking through that? Or how do you talk?
Yeah, it's through Zoom.
Through Zoom, okay. And then on the whiteboard, where did you get the staff?
Oh, I had to draw it with
Oh.
blind.
And the hard thing for me is the audio on FaceTime is so much better.
Yeah. The problem with FaceTime is you can't control their screen. You can't.
No, you can't do that, but you can hear them and you can see their fingers move correct as they're really moving.
Yeah. If you have Piano Marvel and you can see which notes they're playing right and wrong, you don't even really need that because you know what they played right and wrong, and you can stop and help them fix it. You don't even have to tell them they did it wrong because the software tells them that. You can be the cheerleader and say, I'll help you get that.
Does a student need to have Piano Marvel also?
Yeah, just create a free account of Piano Marvel. It's really easy. Brenda, your hand is still raised, but you took off. Should we skip you? Oh, your hand is down. All right, let's go to Kathleen. Whoops, sorry.
I have this is kind of a dumb question.
Ooh, I like dumb questions.
Yeah, everybody's talking about PDFs and uploading PDFs. So first of all, right now I'm doing this a crude way. The students have their book, I have the book, and I'm holding the book up to the screen and I'm trying to point at the note and it's just horrific. So how do you create a PDF? Is there a copyright? I mean, I guess you could scan it, but is there a copyright problem with that?
Yeah, that's such a dumb question. Actually, that's a phenomenal question. Yes, there are copyright problems with that. If you own the sheet music and you're only using it for yourself, you can do it. But if it's, and the student owns it as well, it's safer just to go through a software like MuseScore or Piano Marvel to just get the sheet music, and then the PDFs are there. So let me share my screen with you and show you how you get the PDFs.
Okay.
So we'll go to Piano Marvel. I'm in the library here, and I just want to look for, let's say, a Bach. Just type in Bach, and I don't know, these invention number 1's a good one. And then I just click print, and there's your PDF.
Okay.
Yep, and then they can print that PDF, or you can use it in Piano Marvel, and it's interactive, and it's already there. So if I just click on that, and I want to teach a student, it'll just follow you. So it's kind of highlighting what you're talking about. Notice how it just follows you along, and the students never get lost that way. So it solves the problem of you trying to show your sheet music on your video screen, which is obnoxious. It just does not work well at all to try to look at sheet music through a video camera.
Right. Now with the Piano Marvel, so let's say you have Piano Marvel and then you say the student has to have it. Does the student have to be on a keyboard, a MIDI enabled keyboard?
They don't. I've taught lessons where the students only have an acoustic piano. Piano Marvel is actually creating a microphone assessment for acoustic pianos, which we should be testing next week. So hopefully it'll be available for this fall, and then they can get that assessment right through their microphone, which would be really cool. Can't wait for that to come out, because there are some students that just don't have keyboards. But as far as like just a really good interactive, they just connect to any keyboard. My grand piano actually has a piano scan on it, which is a little laser light strip that goes underneath the keys, and I can wirelessly connect through Bluetooth my computer to my digital piano that way. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Great. Well, thank
So much
you.
to learn.
What?
So whose hand is raised? It looks like nobody's. Anybody else have oh, I do see D. Okay, D
Yes.
sales.
I have a question. Method books, if we both own it, then we can still make a copy and work from it, right?
If you get caught by the police.
No, no, if you both have method books.
I don't see a problem with it. If you own the method book, you bought it. Your student has
And
it.
the
you
student,
have it. Yeah.
yeah, and the student owns it too.
As long as you don't make that available to other people who don't want to buy it, it's not a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not like it's people getting away from using it for. So as long as they're still purchasing it, the publishers love that.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool. Thanks.
Good questions, though. So I've got a meeting I got to run in 5 minutes. I can answer one more question. Anybody else? If not, I want a joke. Who's got a good joke? We can end with a joke. Julie, you have a good joke? No? How about Josh? Josh, you have a good joke?
I heard Steve Harvey and his wife got into a fight the other day.
Really, what happened?
It was a family feud.
What was that one that Sean shared last time?
What do you call? Oh man, it was like, what do you call a helicopter pilot?
No, what do you get? What do you get when you drop a piano out of a plane onto a helicopter pilot, or
Onto a like army helicopter.
Not an army helicopter. A flat major.
Yeah.
How do you get two sopranos to sing in tune? You ask one of them to stop singing.
That was bad. That was mean.
I didn't realize Michelle's a soprano. Sorry.
I'm not. I'm an alto.
An alto.
But many sopranos can sing like on tune very well. So.
I know. We're teasing. It's like, here's a good one. What's bigger, a violin or a viola? They're actually the same size. The violinist's head makes it look smaller.
Gosh.
Bad.
Love it. That's a violinist joke there. The violist joke against the violin players in the first chair. The concert master. Okay, well, it's time. I have to run. I will see you guys tomorrow. It's been really fun.
Thank you.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.